Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of my kings and queens out here in this world today. Honey, you woke up this morning with breath in your body, okay? You woke up this morning being able to take a deep breath. It's a great day. Regardless of the circumstances or the situation or experiences that you're having right now, it's a great day. And why is it a great day? Because you get another opportunity to get it right. You get another opportunity to go back to the drawing board to figure out what it is that you need to do to make the best decision for your life. Okay? Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's a struggle, but it's not impossible. And that's the key. If you're willing to do it, you're willing to put in the work that you need to put in, guess what? You can make it. Okay? Put a little faith in that too, and baby, you can move a mountain. They say I'm not telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know. Okay? So Miss Bree does have a message for you all today. Those of you that are parents, maybe potentially becoming parents, or if you're not currently pregnant or expecting, maybe later on down the line you want to become a parent. So it's just something that I wanted to talk to you about today, and hopefully this message will reach somebody and make a difference in their lives. I'm not here to change the entire world, but if I can make a difference in one person's life, I know I'm doing my job right. Okay? And let me just make this clear. I am not the perfect parent. I do not know everything. I'm always willing to learn and absorb the necessary information to help me to be a better person in my life, when it comes to my children, when it comes to my husband, and when it comes to my own self. Anything that's going to be a benefit to me to be better, why not? Because I owe myself my best. I want to show up for myself in the best way possible. I want to give myself the best version of me. So let's go ahead and talk about this today, okay? Parenting. We all are, trying to parent. We're doing the best that we can. But we don't know everything as parents. We don't. Especially when you have multiple children, all of your children are not going to be the same. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about how we as parents, we like to teach lessons to our children. We like to try to show them the right things. But when we are teaching our children, we have to remember that there will be opportunities to reevaluate, because not every child will learn the lesson the first time. They won't learn it the first time, okay? Just as not all of us as adults has learned our own lessons the first time when certain experiences have occurred in our lives. Sometimes we don't get it the first time. Sometimes we go through the same thing more than one time because we didn't learn our lesson the first time. So just as we go through that, our children will go through that too. We try to teach them the right ways and the right things to do. But sometimes they're going to make a mistake. They may not get it right the first time. They may not get it right the second time. But even in that, we have to learn that corrections are necessary. And opportunities to apply those corrections is necessary. Okay? Just like for us as adults, we have to correct ourselves in situations. But when it comes to our children, we are able to provide the proper corrections. Yes, you can yell. Yes, you can cuss them out. But what have they learned from that? They've learned that when I get upset or when I get mad when somebody does something, it's okay for me to cuss somebody out. It's okay for me to get disrespectful. Whether we want to be aware of it or not, we are the example. You are a model, okay? I know there's beauty standards in society, but when it comes to parenting and it comes to being adults and authoritative figures, we are role models. We are modeling the proper ways of doing things. And if you mess up, you say the wrong thing, you do the wrong thing, how are you going back to correct yourself? Because in your correction, you're teaching. Excuse me, that's the bell. In your correction, you are teaching that it's about how you recover from situations. And it's not always just simply about the mistake that you made. Because if you're only focused on this mistake, you're never going to make the corrections that's necessary to do that. Okay? And that's something else I want to let you guys know. Self-learning is necessary. Self-learning is necessary to develop an understanding of one's own capabilities when it comes to strengths as well as improvements. As parents, we don't have a manual. Sometimes we can read books, but guess what? Depending on the type of child that you have to adapt to that. You have to adapt to a parenting style that's going to be fit and custom for your child. And if you have multiple, that first child is not going to be necessarily the same as that second child or that third child. So you have to adapt your parenting style, okay? You may be able to tell your first child something and they get the directions and they're able to do it right then and there. Your second child, it may take them a little longer. Or they just may not get it at all. So how are you going to parent them? We have to think about these things. And I know you have a lot you got going on in your life. It's a lot that we all have going on. Hold on just a minute, y'all. It's a lot that we all have going on in our lives. But guess what? It's about how you prioritize, how you manage your time, and what is you willing to put first. If you're going out here in this world working, and you're going out here putting in all this effort into the world and into your job, guess what? When you get older, who's going to take care of you? Who's going to look out for you? If you're giving your best to your job, when you get home, are you giving your children or your family what's left over? Or are you trying to make sure that you de-stress yourself before you get to that house so you can try to give them your best as well? It is doable, okay? It's not impossible to do that if you choose to prioritize it. That's why I say when you taking care of yourself and you do what you need to do for yourself, you're able to show up better. You're able to show up with a different attitude, with an intention that I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure that I'm giving my best, that I'm giving the best version of myself, okay? And even in moments when you can't give your best, you know, maybe it's hard to get it out, make sure that you go back, make those corrections, okay? Grace, mercy, and patience. These are things that are necessary when you parenting, and also when you having a relationship with your own self, when you have a marriage, when you have friendships. All of these things are necessary. Because patience will allow you to take a step back to look at the situation and to be able to analyze it and see what you can do differently. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. I am a mental health professional. I work in private practice and I also work in schools as well with young people. And it's necessary. Young people have a voice. They are learning how to make decisions. They are in the process of learning. They do not know everything, okay? They don't know everything, even if they may feel like they do. They don't know everything, but they're trying to learn. So in order for them to learn, you have to allow them the opportunity to do that. So when they make a mistake, you just gotta help them correct it. Ask them questions. How would you have done this differently? What is something else that you could have done? So that way they can start to learn to think and process before they just do something. Regardless of if peer pressure comes into the play. Because we know friendships is a big thing when it comes to our children. And the reason why friendship is a big thing for them is because they're learning how to have relationships. They're learning how to know the difference between a good relationship and a bad relationship. And depending on how they grow up in the household, with what you got going on and how they watch you for years, that's going to definitely contribute to their decisions sometimes, whether we want to admit it or not. And that don't make you a bad parent. That just means that sometimes you got to go back and correct. You got to go back and recover. You got to go back to them and explain the situation, whatever it was, whatever you was going through. Because even we, at some point, was inexperienced. We still are inexperienced in certain situations. Because it's a lot of things that will come your way that you are not prepared for. So therefore, you got to learn how to deal and maneuver and cope in that situation. So again, let's go forth thinking about these things. Not here to change your mind about nothing, but want to give you something to think about. Okay? It's a message for thinking and possibly applying. I know you're doing the best that you can, but there's always room for improvement. Not saying that you're bad, but looking to be at your best. That's all. But I appreciate you taking the time out listening to me. And hopefully you'll comment below if you have any opinions or you want to make a statement. please feel free to do so. You can like, love, share this, whatever you feel like is necessary, okay? But hopefully this can reach somebody and it can be a help to somebody. Again, my name is Bria. I am a mental health professional, or if you want to say counselor, I'm a mental health counselor. And I am working with Living in Faith Everyday Counseling. And if you may know somebody that is in need of help or in need of assistance, please feel free to give them my contact number, 321-754-7378. And they can just reach out to me and I'll be willing and ready to assist them. And even assist you if you need it as well. But please go forth and have a great day today. Please go forth looking to think, to stop and think before you just do. Because we're in a judgmental world and everything is put under a microscope. Everybody want to pass judgment when judgment ain't even necessary. Okay? And please remember to not judge yourself. Because like I said, there's enough people in this world to judge you on a daily basis. So choose not to judge yourself. Choose to look at the things that you need to work on and put effort into working on those things. And also pay attention to what your strengths are. We go through things and we forget the strength that we have in our abilities because we so focused on what we done messed up at, what we done made a mistake at. And now you're not able to see that you are able to be committed or dedicated. You're able to be resilient because of all the things that you've already been through. You have to make sure you remember those things because that's what's going to keep you going. That's what's going to drive you to push through. To yet get up out your bed every day. Because you know that there's something down in you. You do have stress. It don't mean you're weak. Some things you are inexperienced and unaware about. So yes, you may not pass the test the first time because you was inexperienced and unaware. But now that you done been through that experience or that test, now you're able to know, okay, this is what I probably need to try to do next time. You can try to start preparing. You always want to prepare before the storm rather than preparing when the storm gets here. Okay? And one thing I know about our children, they're going to give us a run for our money sometimes, especially when you know about your own past. They're going to give you a run for your money, and that's okay. So it's just about preparing for that. Having an understanding. Being emotionally available for them. So, because sometimes as parents, we can be providing all the time, and we're not emotionally available for our children. We just have to really go deep into that. You could be providing and doing every single step you need to, but maybe you're not being emotionally available. Maybe you're trying to tell them how they should feel. Maybe you're trying to tell them, oh, don't worry about it. But this is a different generation. This is a different time. The stuff that we used to deal with when we was younger, it's a whole nother bracket now. So let's be aware of that, parents. Okay? And again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just making some suggestions to you for you to think about and maybe potentially apply to your life. So please go forth and have a great day today. Be encouraged, be intentional, and live your life with purpose, okay?